The Sherlock Holmes stories were initially published as serialized fiction in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, captivating audiences with their gripping narratives and intricate mysteries. These stories often include elements such as vivid descriptions, dialogue, and the use of logic reasoning to engage the readers in the detective work. The popularity and enduring appeal of Sherlock Holmes inspired numerous adaptations and spin-offs over the years. With the advent of modern technology and digital platforms, the concept of multimodal storytelling has evolved. We can see this from various formats, such as interactive online platforms, audio dramas, visual novels, and even virtual reality experiences. Through this, readers are able to immerse themselves even more into solving the mystery. Now, you might be asking, what does multimodal even mean? Well, good question. Multimodal media refers to the use of multiple modes of communication or expression, such as text, images, audio, video, and interactive features, within a single work or medium. Essentially, it combines different forms of media to create a more immersive and engaging experience for you, the audience. Visual cues, audio clues, interactive elements, and non-linear narratives. Multimodal murder mystery texts offer readers a more interactive and dynamic way of engaging you with the story. The use of multimodal elements can transform old text into new text by revitalizing the storytelling experiences and reaching new audiences. Traditional murder mystery texts, such as Sherlock Holmes, can be adapted into multimodal formats to create more immersive and interactive narratives for the current age. In fact, we see this adaptation of Sherlock Holmes on BBC. Through this modern take of Doyle's classic detective stories, we see Sherlock Holmes use all of these multimodal elements that I discussed earlier. In this BBC adaptation, they use contemporary technologies to bring Sherlock into the present. Because remember, the original novel was published in 1892. In the adaptation, they made use of social media, the internet, text messaging, and visual effects, to mention a few. All of these strategies evoke the idea of Sherlock in the present day, solving murders with contemporary circumstances. And the fact that we have so many new ways to solve a murder in today's world compared to 1892. The second contemporary text I will be discussing is a video game. This game is called The Wolf Among Us. The Wolf Among Us is a game developed in 2014 by Telltale Games. The Wolf Among Us takes place in 1986 and is a game designed through your decisions, as are most Telltale games. The game gives you, the player, certain options to play out the story the way you want to play it. Your actions do have repercussions in the end. This game is divided into 5 separate chapters. Episode 1, Faith. Episode 2, Smoke and Mirrors. Episode 3, A Crooked Mile. Episode 4, In Sheep's Clothing. And Episode 5, Cry Wolf. The way The Wolf Among Us uses multimodal elements is what follows. The visual design. The game features a distinct art style inspired by the comic book series Fables, on which it is based on. The visuals combine cel-shaded graphics with a gritty noir atmosphere, creating a unique and immersive world for players to explore. The dialogue system. The game uses a dialogue system where players can choose from different dialogue options during conversations. These choices affect the narrative and character relationships, providing a multimodal experience by combining visual cues with textual choices. And QuickTime events. The Wolf Among Us uses QuickTime events during action sequences. You must react quickly by pressing specific buttons or following on-screen prompts to perform actions or make decisions. These events involve a tactical element to the gameplay, engaging players on a physical level in addition to the visual and audio aspects. In every QuickTime event in The Wolf Among Us, depending on the way you control the game, on keyboard or controller, you can have a different experience because the controller rumbles when the action is playing. Now the point of this video is to compare all of these 3 ways of consuming media. We have the written text, the new multimodal text, and video games. Let's start off with the written text. Traditional written texts rely on the reader's imagination to visualize the characters, settings, and events described in the text. However, multimodal text does that all for the viewer, so the viewer doesn't have to do any of that. And video games take it to a step further because you're controlling that character. In conclusion, as technology continues to advance, the possibilities for multimodal storytelling in the murder mystery genre are boundless, ensuring that the curiosity of solving complex cases will continue to captivate the audiences for years to come.